If you just worked out and actually were proud of your body at its purest form, naked in the mirror, right? You would have the highest level of confidence that no Rolex, that no filler, that no Jordans, nothing, that no Ferrari can buy, because you're really, when you're driving in the Ferrari, you're literally borrowing the credibility of that car. So let's be politically incorrect, and let me ask you this question. Have you ever seen a really fat, sloppy, out-of-shape dude with a smoking hot model? Probably not. And the reason is those two dots will never connect. And so today we're going to talk about fitness, the gateway drug, with none other than my co-host, Craig Ballantyne, who was able to sneak across the border and come back into the United States. What's up, bro?
That's right. I told Sleepy Joe, look, ice cream over there, man.
And then you crossed the border.
I just ran behind him.
So guys, Craig and I, before the cameras started rolling here, he's like, yeah, I'm just like 10 minutes away from the American border. You know, he lives in BC, Canada, properly pronounced. And he's like, the only problem is they take the border very seriously, unlike the southern border. Up there, yeah. Because the Canadians are the real threat. Canadians are the real threat.
We are. We pushing that fitness on the gateway drug. It definitely is, though, because, I mean, you talk to anybody who's, you know, a young, skinny guy. Most of us looked up to Arnold, old Arnold, you know, back in the day, Arnold. Yeah. And
before he said, screw your freedom.
Right.
Schmucks.
And so, man, we had no confidence. We didn't know what we were doing. And you go in there, and just going into the gym gave you confidence. And then putting on some muscle, and you lost some weight in the gym, and it's totally transformational. And then when you fast forward to what I did for so long was a transformation contest, I realized, men and women, you can't have a physical transformation without having a complete mental transformation. Like that person who was 50 pounds heavier, it's not the same person who's 50 pounds later. There's such a totally different person, and you change those lives, and it really does lead to the greater confidence, which then transfers over to business and family and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, all of it, because what I found, and it's funny, and as we talked about this, like you and I come from the fitness industry, right? Like fitness transformed both of our lives. You were just like the skinny dude who put on muscle, and I was the fat kid who wanted to get stronger and more confident. I wasn't necessarily looking for confidence. I just knew that if I worked out, I would get respect in school. And even that is like, as young boys, all young boys know that. Like, if I work out, I'll get respect. And if I get respect, I'll feel better about myself. If I feel better about myself, then I'll start carrying myself differently. And that bleeds into, again, other areas of life. But
what's really cool is that women have discovered this as well. Because, I mean, man, there was a girl at the gym the other day. She's like 22 or 23, doing like very athletic warm-up, squatting 225 or 245. I'm like, wow. Yeah. And you could see the confidence that she had by being in the gym with that.
Yeah. And again, we need to be politically completely incorrect here in order to do this right. So if you want to cancel this show, go ahead and cancel us, and fuck you if you do. Here's the deal. Guys will wear like watches and fancy shoes. Like, you create this false bravado if you're either fat or skinny fat, because you don't have the confidence. And women will get all decked out with the injections of the Botox and the what's the other thing, the fillers and the makeup and all this. But it's like, if you just worked out and actually were proud of your body at its purest form, naked in the mirror, right? You would have the highest level of confidence that no Rolex, that no filler, that no Jordans, nothing, that no Ferrari can buy, because you're really, when you're driving in the Ferrari, you're literally borrowing the credibility of that car. When you're wearing, whatever those high heels are that have the red bottoms,
Louis Vuitton high heels,
you're borrowing the credibility of how they make you feel. What if you actually had the confidence and credibility because you just look so fucking good naked, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, those things are no good when you're on Naked and Afraid. You know? So
that is true.
So yeah, it definitely gives you the confidence. Now, I think another thing that it added for me was the structure and the discipline and the routine, and that does tie in the confidence, because if you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times per week, and then you go to the gym 3 times per week, you're going to build that confidence. Yeah. But having like when you're in high school, you got a lot of other competing, like, oh man, you could go out and do this with your friends, you could go out and skip your workout because of this, you got an after school job, and so on and so forth. I went to school during the day, obviously, then I went and worked 2 or 3 hours at my part-time job, then I came home, had dinner, then I went to the gym 5 days a week as soon as I hit like 16 or 17, and that just gave me the structure that, when I went to college, I was actually able to still fit in my workouts, and most people often kind of let that go to the side, but that has just helped me as an entrepreneur as well.
Yeah. And well, to that point, let's talk about that, right? Whether you're going to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week, when you first start out and you're like, all right, I'm going to transform my body, right? And this is why we're calling this, fitness the gateway drug. I'm going to transform my body. I need to finally lose these 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds, whatever it is that you need to do. You have to go a certain amount of days per week, and you have to put in a certain amount of effort. So let's talk about that. Just that fact of structure and effort consistently is what you need in business as well, right? The ability, and the other thing is, we don't get immediate satisfaction and gratification in the gym. The weight loss and muscle building happens slowly, which translates into starting a business as well, which translates into a relationship as well. Nate, show me 2 people that have gotten to a relationship and been like, oh man, that's my kindred spirit. We totally get each other. We don't have any conflict and disagreements, and I love everything she does and she loves everything. That never happens. It takes time and routine for us to begin to go, okay, we've got this thing, this relationship, consistency. And so all the things that it takes to build muscle and burn fat and maintain it are the same elements: structure, discipline, routine, delayed gratification, to build a multi-million-dollar business, to be able to raise kids. Because, hey, go ahead, tell your kids once to brush their teeth and never to brush and then never tell them again. They're going to have rotten teeth. You got to be consistent with how you discipline them. You got to be consistent with how you mentor them. You got to be consistent with the example that you lead with. And so all those things come from fitness. And the moment you start stacking those wins in the gym, you gain the confidence and credibility to be able to stack them in every other area of your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, to that point, when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have the good days, and when you go to the gym, you're going to have Mondays where you're like all pumped to go do bench press, and then you're going to have the bad days as an entrepreneur where something didn't go right, and then you're going to have those days where it's like, oh man, I got to train legs, and I got to train legs with Michael Hearn today, and it's going to be like the toughest workout in the world. You got to have the consistency to show up every single day on those bad days as an entrepreneur, and you get that from showing up on days where you're, maybe you're sore from your regular job, and you got to go in and still train. I remember when I was in high school, like, I worked manual labor job during the day, and I played a lot of soccer, and so I was always sore. But if this was the day to go to the gym and this was a workout, I would go and do the workout. And that just built up that level-headedness that you need as an entrepreneur. I think what you see, you'll probably agree, is that in beginner entrepreneurs, the highs are like, people are way too high when they have a high, and when they hit a low, they put themselves on this emotional roller coaster and make it 10 times worse. Yeah. And if they don't have some type of background of being able to go through tough times, which the training in the gym does give you, gives you that level-headedness, and it keeps you on an even keel, so that the good times are like, yeah, okay, that's good, but let's not get caught up on it. And the bad days, you're like, okay, listen, it's bad. It's just one day. We'll come back and be stronger tomorrow. So I think having that consistency as well, that was like mentally and emotionally, is something that's important.
Huge. It is the ultimate training ground, because then you hit plateaus, either in strength or your weight loss. And when you hit a plateau, you're like, all right, well, I want to quit the gym. I'm not getting results. I want to quit the gym. If you choose not to quit the gym, or maybe it's running, maybe it's doing calisthenics, whatever your workouts, let's say, and you're clean eating. And that's the other piece of it, right? To get the results, it's not just that 1 hour in the gym or working out, to really get the results, you have to put in the effort of eating clean most of the time, because you can't out-train a bad diet.
No.
You have to work out like a savage in the gym and not just goof around on your iPhone. And then you have to get that recovery, the hydration, the recovery, and all those things. All of those things carry over into, and now imagine doing all those things. So I'm working out hard, I'm eating right, I'm getting sleep, I'm getting hydration, but God damn it, Craig, I'm plateaued. I'm not putting on muscle, I'm not burning any fat. And what does coach say? Stick to it. Your body's gonna break that plateau. Same thing applies in your business. How often do you see entrepreneurs, new ones especially, who go, man, I've been grinding away. I'm posting, I'm running ads, I'm doing the funnels, I'm trying to get better at my leadership, but I'm just not making any more money, I'm not making any more traction. Well, if you're able to stick to it in your fitness, you'll be able to stick to it during those times in your business where the results aren't evident, but they're building up below the surface.
So this weekend I was at a mastermind and Todd Lamb was there, and Todd Lamb came to one of our mastermind events, 2015 or 16, and I was talking to him. He's like, incredibly successful today. And he goes, I came to those events, and he was a cop at the time. And he was like, a few grand, it costs a lot of money. But you know what? B said something to me at that event. He said, just stick with it. Be persistent. And he had a business partner, a girl at the time, and she just couldn't stick with it. And now she's still in the gym working 10 or 12 hours a day, and he's out working a couple hours a day and flying his helicopter, around. And
he recently sent me a picture or a video of his speedboat on some lake in Canada, because he's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so proud of that guy. But that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Him and his business partner started at the same time. I'd forgotten about that. I forget her name, not that we know it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's the same in the gym. Two guys go into the gym on January 1st. And you come back in November, and the one guy's still there, and the other guy's 30 pounds heavier and overweight because he didn't stick with it. And the other guy, like, you don't even recognize him because he persisted, or he persisted through that tough time at the start. Now, the one thing with the gym, it does give you that little bit of, first of all, it gives you that endorphins, and you feel good and stuff like that. And it gives you the pump.
The pump.
Like the pump, right? Like, I remember the first time I did bench press when I was 16 at the YMCA in Stratford, Ontario, Canada. And then my friend who I was
Who's
with,
the kid who works out there? The famous kid who works out there?
Bieber.
Bieber.
That's right. I saw Bieber and his dad there one time.
It still cracks me up that Bieber works out at that gym.
Bieber was doing pull-ups shirtless. It was a Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. There's Bieber, his dad, me, and then 12 senior citizens in the YMCA in Stratford. Yeah, it was funny. But I remember after that first chest workout, I don't even know if we had any weight on the bar. It was probably just the bar. And then after, my friend who I was with, who was like that much more experienced, like we were going to McDonald's or something, I could barely put my hands up to the car wheel and drive. And, but you're like, yeah, man, I got pumped and feeling good. And so that is the one thing that when you do start the workouts, even though you can't see the changes in your body, you get that pump that gets you to come back. And so you're always looking for that in business too at the start. And the thing is, way too many people drop out, and this is similar to fitness, is they bounce from program to program to program. Oh, I've been on this program for 3 weeks, or I was a real estate agent for 3 weeks, and then I was then
I had an OnlyFans.
Yeah,
that's literally what I see. Real estate, and then I did OnlyFans, and then I scrubbed my OnlyFans, and I'm back to real estate because the market's hot right now.
Oh man, yeah, it's just the bouncing around. Like, I was an entrepreneur in 4 niche markets in 12 months. It's just not going to happen. It's that persistence. And I did podcasts with Bryce before this, and we were talking about the 4 high income skills. You got to have the high income skills of sales, face to face, nose to nose, toes to toes, copywriting, speaking, and leadership. And you have those 4 high income skills. And it's just like the basics in working out. I mean, you can go and do arms every day, but you look like a goofball.
Yeah.
And you can ignore your legs, but you look like a goofball. You got to get the basics down to build that physique and really put yourself through the tougher workouts that get you to come back. Now, there's one other thing that is beneficial both in business and fitness, and that is having a vision. Because everybody really goes to the gym with a strong vision in their head of what they want to look like. And for a lot of people, I know from my transformation contest that I ran back in the day, we would read, they did a little essay after 12 weeks and they've lost some weight and they had to write a 300-word essay. And the interesting thing is 80% of people would drop out of our transformation contest. We were paying them good money. You know, if they won the contest, it didn't cost anything to be in the contest, and they were doing something they wanted to achieve, and still 80% of people dropped out, usually after a couple of weeks. And what we found was the people who stuck with it, you know, the single moms with 3 or 4 kids who were able to lose 30 pounds, or the dads with, you know, a couple of kids and 2 full-time jobs and that sort of stuff, they were able to stick with it because the vision that they had. Now, some of them had a vision because they were terrified of what would happen if they stayed in that old position. You know, like they wouldn't be able to see their kids graduate high school or something. Their doctor said something. But it was that big why that allowed them to transform. And having that vision, whether you want to be the next, you know, Ronnie or Arnold or whatever, got so many young men into the gym and kept them consistent. And oftentimes that's actually what's kind of missing in the business world, because people go in just thinking, I want to make more money, but it's not a strong enough vision or it's not a big enough why. But you have to have that, because there's going to be days. And I literally know somebody who actually literally had this happen to them. I used to say this, and then I read about this person. There's going to be days when your spouse leaves you, when your dog gets run over, and you get like physically punched in the stomach or kicked in the nuts or something.
A country music song.
Yeah, like you're going to have those days. And if you don't have those days, or if you don't wake up on those days and go, I'm going to go to work right now, then you won't be able to, you know, have the good days where where you win. You have to be committed to the vision, and you know the vision that you've had for Fit Body Boot Camp, you know, obviously kept you going through some tough times at the start and through COVID.
Hell, even last year, even COVID. I mean, I was so locked on to my vision of getting to 2,500 locations. I'm like, we're not going to lose our fitness franchise. We're just not. We may slide back, but we're not going to lose if I could do anything about it. And because I'm so clear about what the impact will look like when we have 2,500 locations. And I think that's so important that you brought that up, man, the vision of what you want the outcome to be.
Yeah, and so, you know, let's break it down here. So let's unpack everything that somebody needs to do in order to use fitness as the gateway drug for entrepreneurial success.
Yeah.
So they do need to have that vision. Like it's not just one thing to say, I'm going to go and start a business, or, you know, I want money from the business. There has to be a whole lot more to it. And having that vision, what's it going to do for your family? What's the vision of your business in a few years from now, so that you get that mentally clear picture? Because if you don't have that mentally clear picture, then you can't really go and get the right program from the coach to get started on that.
Well, hell, you and I, as trainers 20 years ago, you know, working with clients directly, you know, a client would come up to us, or a prospective client. Hey, you know, are you a personal trainer? Yes. Think I want to sign up. Well, what do you want to achieve? I want to get in shape, or I want to lose some weight. And for us to be able to help them get there, we would have to peel the onion. Well, what does get in shape look like? Exactly what size would you be? How would the shape be? What areas do you want to transform the most? And the more I can get them to peel the onion and be very clear on how that body would look. And sometimes I would say, is there a celebrity who's like, you can bring me a picture of like who you want to look like? And like, oh my gosh, there is. And they would cut it out of People magazine and bring it.
Got it.
And they thought it was for me. Like, listen, at the end of the day, I know how to get you in shape. I need you to go, this is who I want. And now that I know it's Reese Witherspoon or whoever, I can keep bringing that up every time they have but I had too much wine and cheese this weekend, or I don't feel like working out this morning, so let's take it easy. It's like, no, we're going to go after it because Reese Witherspoon would go after it, wouldn't she? And so that vision is fucking so important, man.
Yeah. So you take that vision, now you can put together the blueprint for them.
Yes.
The blueprint for them. And so if you're not familiar with fitness, then you got to go and get a personal trainer. I've got personal trainers. I hire one now just because I need help with the old man injuries that have caught up to me, and that's not my area of expertise. And then I've got the plan, I've got the vision, the accountability you need in your business. You need to be, and this is a great time to talk about, being the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yep.
If you're if you're the strongest person in your gym, you're never going to get stronger. So if you want to be fit, you need to hang around people that are fit, that are consistently practicing the habits that get them there. So if you hang around people that, booze it up all weekend and eat the biscuits while watching the football game, like your video the other day, that's what's going to happen to you. So you have to go and add new friends that are going to hold you accountable to it in addition to your personal
Can I tell you
training.
what led to that video, by the way?
Yes,
So the video that Craig's talking about, guys, if you go onto my Instagram and you go back, I think by the time this video comes out, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, you'll see a video of me shirtless. He's talking about that video. So I just finished my leg workout. And when I train legs, I wear Chucks, right? Because I'm flat-footed and Chucks feel great during leg day. I forgot to bring my running shoes, and lately I've been running, kind of jogging 5 miles. So I go to Ayala Park across the street from BK Strength, and I ran in my Chucks, and my knees were hurting, but I'm like, God damn it, man, you're gonna run your 5 miles like you always do.
Wow.
So I was in so much discomfort after that I was just angry, and I'm thinking like, there's someone right now, because it was a Friday, I'm like, there's someone right now getting ready to watch some kind of like Super Bowl, or where the fuck, I don't know anything about sports. Is Super Bowl every weekend?
Every weekend.
Every weekend. So they're about to sit down and watch Super Bowl this weekend and eat fucking biscuits and gravy while I'm like crushing my fucking knees, like my cartilage is powderized. Do you know what I mean?
This Super Bowl sponsored by Popeyes.
Yeah. So it pissed me off, and I was like, "This is time for a video. Time for a video." That's how that came to be.
Yes, absolutely. Biscuits and gravy. So if you're hanging around the people who are having the biscuits and gravy, you're gonna eat the biscuits and gravy too. So be around people that are fit. If you want to start a business, be around successful entrepreneurs who have great morals and ethics, who give back to the community. If you don't spend time with those people, and you only spend time with people who are making less money than you, you're never going to have the fire inside of you to go to the next level. You got to be around those people. So when you have your community, you have your coach and your program and your vision, then actually one other thing that we haven't touched on yet is that you have to have the not-to-do list and eliminate the things that can destroy you.
Yes.
And that's so true in fitness, because if you're going from somebody who sits on the couch all the time, watches TV, and eats a lot of junk, if you have a lot of junk in the house, you might now switch it up where you go to the gym a couple times per week, but your body's not going to transform, because at the end of the day, diet's more important than exercise. Yeah. And I was making YouTube videos on this back in 2007 when you've never seen this one, it's worth watching, where I ran on a treadmill as hard as I could. My friend Brad Pilon ate 1,200 calories of pizza and soda beside me. Took him 4 minutes to do it, and I burned 48 calories or 64 calories running in 4 minutes. And it just goes to show you that diet truly is more important than exercise. And diet's very important for the entrepreneur too. If you're eating junk and you're foggy-headed and slow all day long, you're not going to be a high performer. So you have to make sure that you have that as well. But on the flip side for the entrepreneur, if there's whatever temptations are that hold you back in the morning from GSD on your MIT ASAP, get stuff done on your most important task ASAP, if you're watching YouTube motivational, I got to get pumped up before I work. You got to get pumped up before you work. There's not much hope for it. Or you're scrolling Facebook, or you're doing all these 19 things before breakfast, before you do the hardest thing that moves your business ahead. You got to eliminate those things and get down to business. That's for sure.
Yeah. There are a lot of distractions that we will tend to, how many times these days the only times I get to work out in public gyms now is when I'm traveling. And I'll see, you can tell someone's brand new and they've got the platform shoes, for squatting from Adidas or Nike. They've got that thick leather belt, but they're shaped like a pear. And I'm not like dissing on them. I'm just saying like, you don't need platform shoes. You don't powerlifting shoes. You don't need that belt. You don't need the knee sleeves. They got everything that they've seen on Instagram that their heroes are wearing, but they don't have the discipline that hero carries. And so if you just show up, like get rid of all that stuff and just literally spend the money on prep meals.
Yeah.
Because that's where the real transformation is going to come. And so
shout out to Icon Meals, Todd Abrams.
Todd Abrams, Icon Meals, iconmeals.com. Truly great dude, great product. And by the way, be sure to tag Icon Meals when you're tagging on this video and sharing it in your stories. We want to give Todd some love. Great dude. Anything else we need to share about how fitness is a gateway drug?
No, man. It's just
and it gets you laid. It gets you married. It gets you laid. And it gets you like really hot, smoking, beautiful men or women. Whatever you want in your life, don't judge. You'll get the more beautiful, smoking hot version of that rather than the fat, sloppy lethargic version.
Because you'll be the beautiful version of you.
Beautiful, smoking hot version of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, if you're smoking hot and beautiful, you want to send a naked photo to Craig, go ahead and DM him all your naked photos, not me.
Okay.
This is going to be great. Don't delete this, Ed. Leave that in there.
And other than that,
That was awesome.
you will be a great entrepreneur if you get yourself in shape. Absolutely.
All right, guys, thank you for watching or listening to this episode. Be sure to give us a 5-star review on iTunes. And as always, take a screenshot, tag myself, tag Craig, tag Icon Meals on this particular one. And don't forget to tell your mama. We'll see you later.